All right, welcome back to the P7 Podcast, episode 3 this week. I am your host, Josh, joined by co-host Maxi. How are you, mate?
Good, how are you?
Very, very well. Big week on the tours this week.
That's it. Another big week.
Going to jump straight into the PGA Tour, BMW Champs at Olympia Fields. What a finish. Wowee. That
Doesn't
is,
get much better than that.
yeah, that's the most entertaining finish I think we've seen in the playoff for a little while. For those who haven't seen it,
For sure.
Rahm had a one-shot lead. DJ was coming down the 18th, hit it in the right rough, then proceeded to hit it to the back left portion of the green. I think it was about 56 feet away from the pin, and made a snake to force playoff. And that is not where the drama ended. So went back down 18. Essentially, Rahm missed the fairway right. DJ missed it left, but hit a tree and it spat it back out into the fairway, a fair way away. So he played first, hit it to about 35 feet pin high. Rahm then hit his from the right rough into the back left portion of the green, and had 66 feet. So he was away first and sunk it. It was ridiculous. That putt, I think it broke 3 different ways.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I mean, I saw videos of the camera crew and stuff trying to make the same putt, and it was just ridiculous.
Crazy.
Going every which way possible.
You got a roar, and there's no crowd there. It's just sort of PGA Tour and media staff, and got a roar. And then for someone who doesn't show emotion much, even the look on DJ's face was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then DJ proceeded to leave his birdie putt short. So Big John Rahm wins in an epic playoff. Just going through a few of the stats. So Rahm made 90 plus feet in putts in the 4th round.
Wow.
He also had a bit of drama. I don't know if you've seen it, but he didn't mark his ball on one of the days on one of the greens.
Oh, that's right. That was this week.
And yeah, proceeded to get a one-shot penalty.
Yeah.
Would have been real costly.
I think we've all done it.
Yeah, we've all done it at some point, but it's just a massive brain failure. He just said he wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
So,
what happens?
Yeah, I mean, created drama for us. So
did get a nice kick out of the trees on one hole. I can't remember. I think that was in the last round.
There's a few of them that got that kick out of that shrub on the right.
I only saw one, and that looked well gone.
It did. It looked deep, and it just spat it out.
Yeah, so...
But yeah, essentially it sets up this week at Eastlake for the Tour Champs final. I just want to go over one thing with Olympia Fields. I want to get your opinion on it, and how they set up the course and how it played this week. Because for me, that is how a playoff should be held, with deep rough, penalising if you miss fairway, and then those greens were hard as a rock.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. Long roughs, unless the greens are sort of getting to what we saw at Shinnecock a few years ago, you can't really argue with a course that's too hard as such. I don't think.
Yeah, me either.
So yeah, make it as hard as you can.
I'm all for it, especially in this format as well. But I think the drama that created down the stretch, especially in that playoff, it just made it so much more interesting to watch just 1v1.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it comes back to our point that we made last week, in terms of these playoffs, and they've got to change the format to create that spectacle. So
would be good to see.
Yeah, just reiterating for anyone that hasn't sort of listened to last week's podcast, we reckon that it should be a 64-man playoff series, and then you play match play, essentially, to crown the FedEx Cup winner. Just be so much more interesting, I reckon.
Yeah. And it makes it a playoff whereas the way it is sort of just trying to make a cut after every event, and it's good, but and I guess it takes the rest of the season's points into consideration and all that. But the match play would be pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Like it just make it that much more of a spectacle. But yeah, essentially it sets up this week at Eastlake for the final of Tour Champs. I'll just go through a few of the. So obviously they get DJ finishing first in the standings, gets a bit of a lead on everyone. So essentially, DJ will start at 10 under. John Rahm will be in second at 8 under. Justin Thomas in third at 7 under. Webb Simpson fourth at 6 under. And then Colin Morikawa at 5 under. So I think unless someone makes a serious run, it'll be out of those 5 to win it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to go past DJ, especially with the 2-shot lead leading into the tournament, and how well he's playing.
That's it.
Even John Rahm 2 shots back, it's gonna be tough to beat him.
It's just how solid DJ's been the last 3 or 4 tournaments. He's been right there. So he's only won one of them, but he's been right there for all of them. So you can't help but be pretty certain he's going to be there again.
Everything just seems so dialed in for him at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so is he picks for this week, Maxi?
I probably got to go DJ again, really, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the safe pick.
It is the safe pick, and I think he's sort of the short price favourite for sure. But I'm going to back him in again. He's got to win one of these. But JT, I think he's 3 shots back. Doesn't have the lead this year, which has got to be a good thing for him because he can just sort of go for it. And I think, being 3 shots back at DJ, he knows from sort of that first tee shot that he's just got to go for it and try and make as many birdies as possible. You think depending on how Eastlake is playing, there's going to be a few birdies out there. So DJ's going to shoot a decent number. So
yeah, of course. It'll be good to see them playing some nice aggressive golf.
Absolutely. Just another thing with the PGA Tour before we move on. Yesterday, they made the announcement that the Zozo Champs, which was held in Japan last year, is going to be relocated just this year temporarily to Sherwood Country Club in the US. So I don't know if you've seen, but Sherwood suits one man and one man only, and that's the GOAT, Tiger. So I had to look through the stats at Sherwood Country Club because they held the World Challenge there for, I think, about 10, 12 years. So from 2000, they held it. So in 2000, Tiger finished runner-up. 2001, he won it. 2002, runner-up. 2003, runner-up. 2004, won it. 2006, he won it. 2007, he won it. And had those couple of years where he sort of went through knee surgery. 2010, he was runner-up. And 2011, he won it. And then 2013, runner-up again. Yeah.
Right.
I think he's going to be pretty tough to beat around there.
Give the people what they want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it suits Tiger. He's always a good time for us as fans. And we love seeing him compete. So, yeah, hopefully bring the A game. We see Tiger right up there.
It'd be good to see him up there again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, European Tour this week, Maxi, was at the Belfry. So, for the UK champs, final tournament of the UK swing. So, Rasmus Højgaard won it. He beat Justin Walters in a 2-hole playoff. So Walters bogeyed the second playoff hole. They went down 18 twice. Walters bogeyed. Højgaard parred it and, secured himself his second win of the year to take out the US champs. And in doing so, he won the UK swing title, just edging out Sammy Horsfield as well. So another one for the future. Those two guys, Højgaard and Sam Horsfield, they're, nice and young and really putting some decent golf together and getting that consistency now. So I think they're two to watch in the future for sure.
Yeah.
So
now we'll go to the Korn Ferry Tour. So at Victoria National this week, Brandon Wu with 18 under. Final round 65, and you mentioned earlier, Josh, that he was only pretty much playing Monday qualifiers until
about 6
just
weeks
recently.
ago. He was playing Monday qualifiers to get into the Korn Ferry Tour events. So massive.
So to get a win is awesome. And then we had a pretty tight leaderboard again. He won by a shot. Another few at 16 under. So another tight finish on another tour, which is good. And we were also saying earlier that Brendan Wu and Curtis Luck will both get exemptions into the US Open.
Yeah, good to see. I mean, we
year?
thought, so we thought it was going to happen. It looked odds on for Curtis Luck. It has been confirmed that he has got himself a spot in the US Open alongside Brendan Wu. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah. And then we'll hop across to the LPGA. So we had the Walmart Arkansas Championship, and we had Austin Ernst at 20 under, win by 2 shots with a 63 in the final round.
Jesus.
Pretty incredible. It was pretty much the lowest score of the day. Closest 18 under, 69 the last day, couldn't keep up. But another pretty close finish again, really. So another one that's good to see.
Yeah. And some news this week in terms of Sophia Popov is that I think LPGA, they're sort of standing their ground on her exemption or non-exemption for this year's Open, US Open. So obviously with the win in the Open Championship this year, she won the right to play in the US Open next year. But a lot of people have been campaigning for her to be playing this year, as she's obviously one of the most informed golfers on the LPGA and the worldwide ladies tours. My opinion is that yes, she should be exempt for it, and I believe she should be playing. And I think they should make a special exemption, especially with the year that we've dealt with in 2020. She should be allowed in it, but obviously they're standing their ground, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Winning a major and getting your exemptions. But at the end of the day, you want to see the best players. So, I really don't see why they wouldn't, other than sort of the, tradition kind of sticking to the rules kind of thing. But I think that's just pretty typical of golf and where it needs to remove itself from quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Like, she's one of the most informed players in the world. You want the best competing, you want a tight finish, and you want it to provide that entertainment so people tune in and watch it. Yet your serious opportunity with Sophia Popov not playing, I mean, makes no sense to me.
No.
Then onto some equipment news this week, Maxi.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Srixon have released their new range. I'm going to talk about their 2 new drivers today. So they've got the ZX5 and the ZX7. So essentially your ZX7 is your players model that you mostly see on tour. So just have a look. So the more rounded shape designed for the tour players. and your sort of lower handicaps. And then the ZX5 is your sort of more forgiving stretch back option. So ZX7 has two weights, two replaceable weight back and so the back left, back right. So you can obviously sort of adjust draw and fade bias settings, as well as the adjustable hosel, whereas the ZX5 just has the one weight in the back of the club, and obviously the head is stretched right back to to increase that MOI.
Yep.
First impressions are the ZX7 looks good. So 15.
It does. Yeah.
15% more carbon in the crown of both clubs, and they've employed this rebound frame this year to try and increase ball speed over the whole face. So to me, ZX7 is the one I'd go for just on looks alone. Obviously, a huge part of why you buy a driver and what you want out of a driver.
Even looking at the 5, it's not ugly by any stretch of the imagination. It's still quite a good looking club, I think.
Yeah, and that's been the problem with Srixon drivers in the past, is they just haven't looked or sounded too good. To my eye, anyway. Yeah. But yeah, definitely an interesting one and definitely worth testing, because they do come in quite cheaper as well, sort of in that Cobra bracket of price range. So not quite the premium stuff. So just that level below. So definitely worth testing for sure.
Yeah. All right. So the other one we've got this week that's been popping up everywhere is the new Vice golf ball. So the Vice, we've got the Vice Pro and the Vice Pro Plus. The Pro Plus is the Pro V1X equivalent, and the Pro is the Pro V equivalent. Both 3-piece balls. And if you look at any testing, they're so good for what they are. So these are coming in at $50 a dozen.
For Australian dollar?
Yes, yep, that's Australian dollars.
So that's what you're sort of looking at, $20 to $30 cheaper than your premium range
exactly.
from any sort of manufacturer. But they're that straight to consumer market, so they save costs on sort of obviously not paying tour players. They're not spending any money on their marketing, and offering that direct to consumer sort of sale saves you a lot of money and definitely worth testing.
Yeah,
you mentioned it before, but the tests that I've seen, TXG did one. They loved it. I saw Rick Shields yesterday did one. He also was a big fan of it. A lot of sort of fans on his channel were promoting him to test it, and he did it and loved it. So
the only thing with the TXG test I think they found is that it didn't have the spin drop off with the driver. Like the new Pro V1 has. If that's something you're into, then go the Pro V, I guess. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a huge amount. So it was sort of performing the same as the older Pro V.
Yeah, okay.
When I say older, I mean the previous model, not older. So that's good. The wear on them was pretty, I think Rick's one, that was outside, so a little different. He had a bit of wear.
Yeah, there was a little bit, but not too much.
But when you're smashing bunker shots.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, he uses the tailor-made rust wedges anyway. That's
it.
So they're always going to chew it up.
As bad as it gets.
Yeah, essentially. But they look good, and at that price point, save yourself sort of $20 a dozen each time. That adds up over the year. So, I don't know about you, but we go through a few dozen over the year. Course of the year. So, why not save yourself, especially if they perform the same?
Yeah, that's it. I will say as well, that line on it that looks great.
Yeah, to me,
I have no idea why nobody else has done that.
Yeah, it's a strange one, because you see how many players out there sort of are drawing a line on their ball before each round.
What do we all do when we get to the first tee?
Yeah, exactly.
Almost all of us. Yeah, Callaway have done it. a lot of people, well, the people who don't use it are probably sort of, it's a little too intrusive, I think, for some people. The Pix is a little bit of a different story. But yeah, just a simple black line. That's all we want, I think.
Yeah, exactly right. And last to sort of finish off, PGA 2K21 came out this week, Maxi.
That's it. I think it
You've
was
obviously
last Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, you've had the chance to play it. I haven't yet.
I have.
How is it? First
It's
impression?
good. Yeah, it's really good. I had the Golf Club 2019. Played that a little bit. It's similar, but all the little details on the golf course are nicer. You can control your ball flight a lot better. I think the physics of in it is a little bit more solid. Really frustrating thing with the golf club is if you had a pin sort of tucked in the front of the green, you couldn't get a lot of spin on your shot. Whereas with this, you can change your attack angle and that kind of thing, so you can put plenty of spin on it. The way the wind affects it, if you put lots of spin on it and you're into the wind, it's going to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Which is good, and it's also got plenty of. I was playing around with the other day difficulty settings.
Okay.
So you can have the option for just using the yardage book, and no normal measures. You can turn all the green reading and all that sort of stuff off. So, yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Bit
golf's
of
been
fun.
crying out for a decent sort of video game for a while. So hopefully this is the start of good things to come and just create that exposure to the game a lot more.
Yeah.
All right,
I mean,
mate.
I still would have liked to see Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2021.
Yeah, it'd be
But,
nice. But I don't know if we're going to see that. The rights they'd have to
but
pay
I
for
will
that is
take what we can get.
ridiculous. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to getting my hands on it as well. If that's it from you, that's it from me. So that about wraps us up for the week. Let's go, JT. He's going to do it. I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm not confident, but I would like to see it. I'm not going to lie.
The swing looks good on Instagram this morning, so I think
I did see that. It did look solid.
he's in for a big one. Come on, JT. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll speak to you next week.
See ya.